Hey, genuine well-wishers and followers, how are you? Good-hearted fellows. It's ideal airplane Rosa Suresh with absolute delight back for my 55th video in pipeline for publication on YouTube today, 3rd of August 2020. Topic for discussion today is robotic pets for companionship and medical therapy. Robos are mechanisms that can move automatically, something which does not appear to have any emotions like human beings and other sentient species on earth, but robots similar to human beings that can emote to are in operation, especially in Japan, and are called humanoids. You may be conversant with artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, ML, and expert systems, ES. Robotic pets or robo-pets are basically smart, intelligent robots designed to operate like or mimic pet animals, birds, marine species, etc. A robotic pet is an artificially intelligent machine made in the image of an animal, commonly kept as a pet. Robo-pets, a term first coined by Yakas in 2001, are small animal-like robots which have the appearance and behavioral characteristics of companion animals or pets. There are a variety of robotic pets such as dogs, cats, birds, and even fish and all that, dinosaurs, etc. Robotic pets may also include things not normally considered pets like Pleo, a simulation robotic dinosaur. Some people even treat these robots as actual pets. A very popular robotic pet is Techno, the robotic puppy. Robo pets are also keep elderly people from being depressed and also keep them active. In New Zealand, a study was conducted on elders to show the impact of robotic pets on their mental well-being and standards of living. The study found that the senior adults who interacted with the pets had a much more beneficial outlook on life, including a more positive mindset. The company Tombot created a prototype robotic pet that is actually specifically for elders who are lonely and have low budgets. These pets will promote an easier yet more affordable lifestyle for older adults and a more low maintenance way to have the companionship of a pet. Nanto City in Japan is facing a challenge that is typical of cities across the country. The city has a large elderly population and a shortage of younger people to care for them. But Nanto City is approaching this problem in an unusual way. Over the course of 12 years and at a cost of $10 million, Japan's National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology has developed a robotic animal, a baby seal, named Paro, to help ease the burdens of Nanto City's older residents. These are people who not only struggle with physical illness but often also with the feelings of sadness, loneliness, and isolation. By all accounts, Paro is helping. Informally, nurses report that the elderly patients treat Paro like a family pet, P-A-R-O, like a family pet, covering that with blankets and trying to feed that snacks. A more formal study by Dr. Takanori Shibata, Paros discovered a 50% increase in brain activity in certain patients after spending 20 minutes with a seal, that is Paro. And seals are not only the robotic animals taking the impact, making an impact. Senior citizens who spend time with the Aibo, AIBO, a robotic dog whose name means pal in Japanese, played with him and told him that their thoughts and feelings. They treated him much like a real live dog. Though there have been a few formal scientific studies to date, those that have been conducted point to a number of benefits of robotic pets. These include lowered stress levels and increased happiness. One study at the University of Missouri revealed the level of cortisol, the stress hormone felt in adults when they patted Aibo. It's a robotic dog by Sony. Other robot animals can act as guides for people with vision problems, guide dogs, detect fires and rescue people and assist military troops. These are the robot working animals. Dogs are normally used for sensing bombs, to sense drugs, to sense whether any live person is underneath the rubble in case of a earthquake, etc. Some robot animals exist purely for amusement. These robopets are, to put it simply, for fun. There are baby chickens that chirp and kittens that purr. Many robopets behave like babies and grow up under the delighted eyes of the owners. Some, like Pleo, a cuddly dinosaur, learn new tricks and change their behaviors as appropriate for their age. As one happy customer on Amazon.com explained, the little critter is the cutest creature I have ever seen. He is a baby dinosaur that's warm-hearted, gentle, and really strikes a chord with all who meet him. Remarkably, these robopets seem to develop their own unique personalities. Some scientists call these animals social robots. Their existence is possible in part because scientists have begun to learn more about how the human brain learns and responds, and to apply this knowledge to the rapidly changing field of robotics. Thus, robopets are becoming ever more realistic and engaging. Scientists have known for years that real dogs, cats, and other pets can do a lot to improve the people's lives. Now they are finding out that robotic pets can trigger the same feelings of well-being and affection that real animals can. Though robopets aren't cheap. It costs $10 million to develop Paro. The many benefits that they offer may soon outweigh the cost, and they never shed or need to be cleaned up after demand to be taken outside for a walk, like the real dogs and all that. For decades, we have built our robots to perform the 3Ds, things that are too dull, dirty, or dangerous for us to do. In many ways, we are now dependent on robots, but now there is a relatively new area in which robots are making advances into our hearts. One of the strongest bonds many people have is with their pets. Given the complexity of emotions involved in such relationships, it seems unlikely that a robotic pet could ever truly replace a biological one. But robotic pets are becoming increasingly affordable and lifelike. They can be soft and cuddly. They can respond appropriately to a loving stroke or a sharp voice command. As the technology of robotic pets improves, so too will their ability to interact. For many people, robotic pets may seem to offer all of the pros and none of the cons of biological pets. And that may just be a problem. Humans have long shown the ability to bestow love upon inanimate objects. Ask yourself if you have ever loved a car or a laptop computer or a teddy bear. Viewed in that regard, it is not difficult to imagine feeling the same love for a robotic pet. After all, a robotic cat might actually exhibit more affection than a real cat, but it is that show of affection that may be most troublesome. When a nuzzle is given by an aloof biological cat, the owner may feel a rush of pride at having earned such an honor. But what of a robotic cat? Would the owner still feel the pride, knowing in the back of her mind that aloofness was coded into the cat by some computer programming? Kids, especially girls, love the stuffed animals, so it makes sense that they would love robotic pets even more if those pets seem to love them back. Again, though the trouble here lies in the simulation of love. No matter how lifelike a robotic pet may seem, it is just a technologically advanced machine. Numerous research studies have found that advanced technologies such as mobile phones and the internet often led to social isolation. It is not hard to imagine that a very lifelike robotic pet, while providing an elderly woman with comfort and companionship might also cause that woman to isolate herself from human interaction. As one commentator noted in an online forum of robots, in a few years we'll never have to leave the house. Finally, there is a matter of responsibility. Many children get their first experience with responsibility by caring for a pet. Biological pets have real needs, the neglect of which holds very real consequences. But what does a child learn about responsibility when the only need a robotic dog has It is recharged occasionally, like the cell phone or a laptop, computer, and all that. That emotional bonding never occurs. What lesson is learned if when a child gets bored with his pet or her pet, he or she can put it back in the back of his or her closet and forget about it. In the not too distant future, intelligent creatures, robots, smart devices, smart vehicles, smart buildings, etc., will share the everyday living environment of human beings. It is important then to analyze the attitudes humans ought to adopt for interaction with the morphologically different devices based on their appearance and behavior. In particular, these devices will become multimodal interfaces with computers and networks of computers for a large and complete universe of applications. Our results show that children are quickly attached to the word dog, reflecting a conceptualization that robots that look like dogs, in particular Sony Aibo, are closer to living dogs than they are to other devices. By contrast, adults perceive Aibo as having stronger similarities to machines than to dogs. Illustration of the characteristics structured in the definition of robot is insufficient to convince children. Aibo is closer to a machine than a dog. Identification of what makes children to perceive a robot as a dog, an animal, or as a robot is important, especially if one wants to design robots stressing the difference or diluting it. People with the disabilities, the elderly, and other groups in need of assistance are the first humans that will benefit from autonomous mobile robots. Naturally, the attitudes, acceptability, and adequate expectations are to match an effective human-computer interaction. If the person expects smarter behavior of the robot, things like gesture, voice recognition, and the technology does not deliver, then rather than assisting it, it will frustrate the person. Robo-pets, for those that engage and interact with them, appear to have the potential to impact favorably on outcomes such as loneliness and agitation. For those that choose to engage with them, robo-pets have the potential to reduce loneliness and agitation, increase social interactions, as well as provide comfort and pleasure. Interactions are highly varied and influenced by potential histories and the type and characteristics of the robo-pet. Not everyone engages with robo-pets, and some older adults, families, and nursing staff might actively dislike them. Training in how to best use and introducing robo-pets may help improving resident engagement and staff confidence in using them. Whilst robo-pets should not be considered as replacement for human interaction, there appears to be scope for them using them as therapy for agitated or isolated residents. Scientists have long known that owning a pet can offer a variety of health benefits, from lowering blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and feelings of loneliness to boosting opportunities to exercise and socialize. Pet or animal-assisted therapy may be helpful in providing sensory enhancement for older people in care homes. But health and safety concerns, the limited availability of appropriate animals, and the inability of care homes to meet the needs of living animals means that not all care homes are able to provide pet therapy. Robo-pets, small robotic animals that mimic living animals that respond to human interaction, are receiving increasing attention, but that's the role in the care and nursing home setting. What's the role in the care and nursing home setting? An increasing body of research evidence now appears to support the view that pets, and in particular companion pets, act as agents of health promotion. People who own pets and who form a bond with that pet benefit in terms of better physical, mental, and social well-being when compared with non-pet owners. Although the exact mechanisms responsible for this have yet to be elucidated, it does appear that companion pets are able to act as a buffer against the stresses of daily life, to offer a degree of unconditional social support for the pet owner, and to encourage moderate physical activity that otherwise would not take place. Recent developments in computing and robotics have seen the emergence of robo-pets, small domestic robots, which have the appearance and behavioral characteristics of companion pets. Domesticated animals have played a significant role in the life of human species for at least 12,000 years, and during that time the role of the animal has shifted from a mainly working role to that of the domesticated pet or companion pet. Which we are now familiar. It is only during the past 200 years or so that the health benefits of pet ownership have begun to be recognized formally. Many studies have now shown that people who keep pets are often healthier. All those things I have said. Pet owners have fewer risk factors for cardiovascular disease than non-pet owners. For example, the pet owners had lower levels of triglycerides and lower blood pressure than those who did not own pets. Lifestyle risk factors suggested that pet owners exercise more often than non-pet owners. Owning a pet keeps the individual more active, and this helps to offset the natural deterioration of inactivity levels. Therapy dog was useful in promoting social behavior in people with Alzheimer's disease. Companion animals that live with the people who have Alzheimer's also appear to have beneficial effects on social functioning. Many people keep pets for company and to offset feelings of loneliness that they might otherwise feel. This is particularly important in the context of mental health promotion because loneliness has been associated with the depression, anxiety, low self-esteem and self-destructive behaviors. Stress levels among people waiting for cardiac surgery can be alleviated by the provision of fish tanks in the patient's room. The fish appear to have a calming effect and provide patients with a distraction from the immediate situation. The act of stroking small furry animals appears to have a calming effect which can promote relaxation and lower blood pressure, which again has obvious benefits for the health of those who might be recuperating. Psychological health appears to benefit through a combination of stress buffering and non-judgmental social support offered by companion animals. Diseases that can be transmitted to humans from animals, the zoonoses, represent the downside of pet ownership. Furry animals shed their hair, which spreads through the air and causes allergy and breathing problems like asthma. Moreover, these hair follicles, if it mixes with food, makes food highly poisonous and causes other health-related issues like indigestion, diarrhea, vomiting, etc. There are also instances when the pet owners have lost their lives when these pets turn aggressive and attack their owners. So many magots have lost their lives when the temple elephants trained by them trampled them to death. Sometimes even well-trained circus animals have killed the performers. One should never try to domesticate wild animals. At some point of time, the true color will surface. It is nature. Robotic pets are being marketed as social companions and are used in the emerging field of robo-assisted activities, including robot-assisted therapy (RAA). However, the limits to and potential of robotic analogs of living animals as social and therapeutic partners remains unclear. The benefits of animal companionship for human well-being continue to be the subject of considerable debate. The evidence for the beneficial effects of pet ownership on human health and well-being remains mixed. Technological advances and interactive computing and virtual reality are yielding increasingly sophisticated emulations of the natural world. Of special interest are robotic pets, which embody interactive and adaptive computing technology in forms that mimic biological entities such as dogs and cats. As technology mimics the natural world more and more expertly, a number of social issues arise. What standards and protocols for robot-assisted activities, including robot-assisted therapy, should be developed? Should public policies encourage the ownership or use of robotic pets or assistants, particularly for special populations such as the elderly, persons with disabilities, or immunosuppressed individuals? Will mediated experiences with animals in nature come at the expense of direct human engagement with the living world? Some people that love and others want, thereby threatening children's optimal development and the environmental and animal welfare concerns. The human mind seeks to categorize many aspects of the world. We focus in this section on three overarching categories. First, humans categorize entities as alive or dead. are never alive or specifically as belonging to the biological or non-biological domain. Some non-biological entities such as television are seen as man-made artifacts, and others such as rocks are viewed as a product of natural process. Second, some entities are categorized as having a mental life with intentions, desires and thoughts. Third, some entities are categorized as social. We may enjoy their company, feel less lonely in their presence and be their friends. While children distinguish animals and machines from an early age, machines that emulate biological entities and contain sophisticated interactive capabilities may pose challenges. The human companion animal literature finds that children overwhelmingly consider their pets to be friends and family members and accord their pets and certainly their dogs status as biological creatures with minds, emotions and moral claims. Delirium is highly prevalent in hospitalized patients and is a strong and consistent negative predictor of length of stay, mortality and long-term cognitive outcomes. Symptoms commonly associated with the delirium include reduced ability to focus, sleep disturbances, psychomotor agitation and emotional disturbances. The management of the behavioral disturbances of delirium is challenging, although non-pharmacologic means to reduce the duration or severity of delirium are advocated. There are limited established therapies beyond each early physical mobilization, reorientation, attempting to enhance natural sleep patterns and bedside sitting. Use of robotic pets has been reported to be helpful in reducing agitation in nursing home patients with dementia. Given that dementia is a major risk factor for delirium, it is reasonable to speculate whether such devices could be useful in a hospital setting. Behavioral problems may affect individuals with dementia, increasing the cost and burden of care. Pet therapy has been known to be emotionally beneficial for many years. Robotic pets have been shown to have similar positive effects without the negative aspects of traditional pets. Traditional in the sense biological. Robotic pet therapy offers an alternative to traditional pet therapy. Behavioral and psychological problems affect most individuals with dementia at some point during the progression of the disorder, adding to the cost and burden of caring for them. For example, as many as 83% of individuals with dementia suffer with depression, and as many as 77% suffer from anxiety. These problems may ultimately result in long-term hospitalization, increased medication use, and decreased quality of life for caregivers and patients. Despite the fact that animal-assisted therapy has been used for many years, some senior healthcare settings still do not accept animals, even though they acknowledge the positive benefits of animal-assisted therapy and activities involving therapy pets. Many are concerned regarding the negative effects of human beings such as allergies, infections, biting, scratching, or even fear of the animals involved in therapy. Consequently, robotic pet therapy is seen as a viable substitute for animal therapy. The Paro, short for personal robot in Japanese language, robotic pet has been in use in many countries since 2003. The FDA-approved device is designed to look like a baby harp seal, which is a non-familiar animal to most people. As a result, individuals can readily engage with the Paro without preconceptions or expectations. Tomorrow the sun will rise, and with it, more people will rise to greet the robotic pets. This may or may not be a bad thing, but before the robotic dog takes its place as man's new best friend, it might be worthwhile to ask whether giving love to something that cannot love you back is truly a friendship at all. As it is, people are living in social isolation in a virtual world of their own, attributed to so-called smart gadgets and social networking. It is an addiction, and people lose their sanity as a result and lead a sedentary life, living like psychos. Robotic pets for companionship will be another contributing factor for such undesirable events. There are limits for anything. Use robotic pets with adequate caution. Moreover, robotic pets are much more expensive to acquire and maintain than real animals, birds, marine species, etc. Nothing is comparable to the real thing. Why live in an imaginary world, guys? These are psychological games played by corporates and computer nerds for their own benefits. Never fall prey for such catchy, misleading advertisements, Stahl claims. I would advise all to refrain from giving undesired attention to such products and spend your time more productively and effectively. Thereby, you stand to benefit a lot. Generally, avoid scanning or listening to advertisements and media unless otherwise you have already decided to buy that product. Do not be an impulse shopper. Be like the three monkeys. Close your eyes, ears, and mouth to curtail brainwashing. Some of the statements, views expressed are solely mine based on limited knowledge gained over 6 decades. Debates, discussion on topics like this can go on forever. Anyhow, let me call it a day. We'll meet again real soon. Always watch these videos with a closed caption for absolute 100% comprehension as per my sincere recommendation zillion times so far. I know I rushed through the presentation to complete the presentation within 20 minutes. Max, this is a time limit I had set myself to retain the viewer's attention as now. I know nowadays I exceed this time limit since I make honest attempts to cover the selected topic more elaborately, including so many intricate fine details referring a wide variety of sources, in particular Wikipedia, quite extensively, besides articles and books published recently. In addition, I add my own salt and pepper and masala based on my personal experiences so far in my life and also intuition. Stay at home as much as possible to maintain social distancing attributed to pandemic novel COVID-19 and prolong your lifespan. Lead a healthy life. God alone can put a stop to natural and unnatural events, maybe bio war and cyber war events like pandemics, which may lead to apocalypse and extinction of all sentient species on earth for no fault of the others. All the best. Rest in peace and